This time I'd sort of like to introduce, she's defined in the bulletin as the Master of Ceremonies. So I'd like to introduce the Reverend Sandra L. Jones from the Williams Chapel AME Zion Church, and she'll lead us pretty much through the rest of the service, and I'll come back and sort of close things out at the end. Reverend Jones?
Thank you. To God be the glory for the things that he has done. Oh, give thanks unto the Lord for his good, his mercies endure forever. As many of you know and you just heard, I am Reverend Sandra L. Jones. I am the pastor of Williams Chapel African Methodist Episcopal Zion Church, located across from Dairy Queen here in Big Stone Gap, Virginia. I am your Mistress of Ceremony this evening, and first of all, I want to thank Reverend Terry Goodman and his beautiful congregation for hosting this event. Let's give them a round of applause. Amen. For the past few years, we, the African American churches in this community, have been celebrating Black History Month on each Wednesday at 6:30, going from church to church. It's been a time of worship, learning, fellowship, and of course, eating. Our hearts were warmed as Trinity agreed to share in our celebration. There is just too much history for just 1 month. However, we will do our best to highlight some of history's most prestigious forerunners. Join with me today as we listen to the soft but hurried steps of Harriet Tubman, leading the Underground Railroad. We will hear and see them as they follow the drinking gourd. Get your shouting shoes on, as Sojourner Truth declares, ain't I a woman? And you better sit up straight, stick your chest out, and for just 1 minute, pretend that you're Rosa Parks and refuse to get up out of your seat. And if you ever wondered how you were created, James Weldon Johnson's creation will have you celebrating who you are and whose you are. And there is no way that this country will ever forget the powerful words of the late, great Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. as he shares his dream with us and for us. And for the icing on the cake, we lift every voice and sing music from Trinity Choir, Ron Short, the Wise Guys, Williams Chapel, and Macedonia Baptist will have you singing in the shower tonight or in the morning. You will wake up with a song in your heart and dancing in your feet. And I dare you to do like my beloved Uncle Troy would say, now run and tell that. There will not be a lot of formal introductions tonight due to the length of this program. But we want you to go home and read for yourselves the stories behind all of these great characters. We will begin with opening selections from our host choir, Trinity United Methodist, followed by a reading from Alberta Mitchell, also Trinity, and 3 soul-stirring selections from the Wise Guys, from UVA Wise. And then I will be back.
Elijah Rock, shout, shout. Elijah Rock, coming up, Lord. Elijah Rock, shout, shout. Elijah Rock, coming up, Lord. Elijah Rock, shout, shout. Elijah Rock, coming up, Lord. Elijah Rock, shout, shout. Elijah Rock, coming up, Lord. Elijah Rock, shout, shout. Elijah Rock coming up, Lord. Elijah Rock, shout, shout. Elijah Rock coming up, Lord. Elijah Rock, shout, shout. Elijah Rock coming up, Lord. Elijah Rock, shout, shout. Elijah Rock coming up, Lord. Elijah Rock, shout, shout. Elijah Rock coming up, Lord. Elijah Rock, shout, shout. Elijah Rock coming up, Lord. Elijah Rock, shout, shout. Elijah Rock coming up, Lord. Elijah Rock, shout, shout. Elijah Rock coming up, Lord. If you don't mind now, he'll conjure you.
If I could, I surely would.
Just stand on the rock where Moses stood. Elijah Rock, shout, shout about Elijah Rock. We're going to shout and shout. Elijah Rock coming up. Elijah Rock coming up. Elijah Rock coming up. Elijah Rock, shout, shout. Elijah Rock coming up, Lord. Elijah Rock, shout, shout. Elijah Rock coming up, Lord. Elijah Rock, shout, shout. Elijah Rock coming up, Lord. Elijah Rock, shout, shout. Elijah Rock coming up, Lord. Elijah Rock, shout, shout. Elijah Rock coming up, Lord. Elijah Rock, shout, shout. Elijah Rock coming up, Lord. Elijah Rock, shout, shout. Elijah Rock coming up, Lord. Elijah Rock, shout, shout. Elijah Rock coming up, Lord.
Every February, Black History or National African American History Month is observed in the U.S. to celebrate and honor the contributions and many acts of Black Americans throughout the nation's history. Until the 20th century, Black history was mostly absent or misrepresented. In 1915, Dr. Carter G. Woodson, the son of former slaves who had become a scholar and a historian, founded the Association for the Study of Negro Life and History. This organization produced the Journal of African American History, as it is called now, which compiled articles about the Black men and women whose achievements had been untold. In 1926, the association expanded its efforts to tell these stories and created Negro History Week. This week eventually became Black History Month as we know it today. The second week in February was chosen because it coincided with the birthdays of two prominent figures in history, Abraham Lincoln and Frederick Douglass. Over the decades, the week-long commemoration spread to schools and communities across the country. The civil rights movement of the 1960s helped bring the week to a broader audience, and in 1976, it expanded to Black History Month, with Gerald Ford being the first president to endorse it. He said, "I urge my fellow citizens to join me in tribute to Black History Month and to the message of courage and perseverance it brings to all of us." Nowadays, some argue that Black History Month is no longer necessary, or that it gives the impression that Black history should be acknowledged only for a single month. But others say it's important to have a dedicated time to honor and recognize people who had been left out from the history books for so long. When it comes to the origin of Black History Month, now, hopefully, when you hear the question, Black History Month, what is it? At least you can say now, I get it.